Joining us from Winnipeg, first hit of the day, Dave and Luke at RiderVille.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's not Luke and I playing our music that loud. No, we're at RiderVille, man.
Suit jacket guy in RiderVille. Come on, Davey.
Hey, when you're a pro, you got to go. And I'm going to tell you, man, today has been an absolutely eye-opening day with everything that went down off the field. So a professional attitude is required, I think.
All right.
I'm 3 beers in. I don't know what Dave's talking
about. That's what I'm talking about. That's my kind of guy right there. Take us through the day, Dave.
All right. Well, today the two big events were the State of the League address from the commissioner, and we're going to hear he took some time and had a conversation with me, and I heard you alluding to the fact that he says he made a mistake. He was not clear enough in defining what the changes would and would not entail. So that was a bit of an eye-opener. But the other one that kind of flew under the radar, he addresses the youth sports fields. He addresses what it's going to look like as far as how the rules will be implemented. He addresses all of that. But the thing that flew under the radar, Major League Baseball right now has got a problem, right? The Cleveland Guardians, 2 pitchers have been allegedly involved in gambling.
Bunch of cheaters.
Well, the commissioner said that they actually have protocols in place in the Canadian Football League where they investigate circumstances where something like that may come to light. There were 5 games this season that were triggered by that. So the league investigated them all. Fortunately enough, there was no wrongdoing that was found. So that was kind of interesting that, oh my gosh, the league does have checks and balances on this one. And so we'll hear more from the commissioner on that. And the other one, Luke, that I'll get your opinion on, the CFLPA held their State of the Union address today. And number one, they talked about the rule changes, and they didn't come out for or against the rule changes. They came out against anti-consultation, if you will. They weren't consulted when it comes to the rules. So they were wanting that to go forward. Today, they listened to the State of the League address. Today is the first time they heard anything about those 5 games that were investigated by the Canadian Football League. That's not the only thing. It's also they didn't know about that protocol being in place. So obviously a bit of a disconnect when it comes to communication there. They talked about how there is an opt-out clause, but the biggest thing that the union is concerned about is some circumvention, if you will, of the salary cap, and that teams were reluctant to put players on the 6-game injured list this year, instead putting them on the 1-game list so that the salary would still count against the cap, which went up right before camp after everyone had signed. Right. So I don't know if that's the norm, Luke, or not, but obviously they're advocating for the players and making sure that the league is a good place.
Well, I mean, when you look at the Canadian Football League, you think about interoperability, right? You've got a commissioner who represents the Board of Governors, but the Board of Governors, they're very much of different opinions a lot of the time because you've got 2 community-owned teams and then you got different type of ownership systems. Right. So so I think it's hard enough to deal with that piece. Then what you got to do is you got to think about the Canadian Football League Players Association. Referees don't have a union, right? Yep. Which I've always felt they should have, but they don't. And there's not a lot invested into the referees. So interoperability is essentially every piece working synonymously together, harmoniously, in order to grow the league. And I get that the CFL Players Association is like, oh, yeah, we weren't consulted. But how much are you going back to the league office and asking for updates, right? So you've kind of got to force the issue at first, especially with a new guy like Stuart Johnson. When he steps in, he's probably got a laundry list of items that the Board of Governors is giving him. And I guarantee you one of them is not, hey, by the way, touch base with the CFLPA, see how they're doing. So you just got to make sure that you're trying to, get everybody on the same page. As a leader in an organization at the moment, one of the things that is appreciated, I know, is when I make a mistake, I own up to it. I at least acknowledge it. So hearing Stuart Johnson come out today saying, you know what, I wasn't as detailed in my approach as I should have been. Here are some of the things that I should have said. Obviously, some of that is because he got the blowback and now knows what messaging people want. But I mean, you could always get up there if you want and be like, look, it is what it is. And he didn't do that. So
Luke, listen to how DA puts it and the corporate. To explain that to the fellows.
Yeah, so obviously the new commissioner's background is corporate. And so I think he's learning on the fly what it means to have a very public job. And, you know, he's getting asked questions in public and he's giving honest answers at the time without realizing all the repercussions of his job being so public. A lot of lessons learned by me, too, as my job's now new public. But I think that's a little bit of it, is that he's going to learn on the job this year. And obviously next year will be much more buttoned down in these types of issues. My opinion.
Yeah, that's the way that's diplomacy, right? And every leader needs to learn it when he comes into an organization, especially one that's as front-facing as the Canadian Football League, right? You got to understand diplomacy. You got to figure it out. And again, you know, it's refreshing to hear a guy come out and be like, "Look, you know what? Might have made a mistake the first couple of steps we took, but guess what? We're on the right path now." I'll tell you what. I've talked to a lot of folks here in the Grey Cup as the weeks progressed. I haven't heard one bad thing from folks about Stuart Johnson. All of the stakeholders really like him. I know that I've talked to a few fans now that have gotten to a chance to chat with him, whether it be in the airport, whether it be on the road, and they really enjoy him. And again, it's all about what you're saying in public versus some of the conversations like you talked about, right? Diplomacy is everything in a front-facing organization, and this is about as front-facing as it gets in the Canadian Football League.
Okay. Dave, I'm going to throw to both you guys here, too. We got about another 3 minutes here, and then Farhan's going to be coming in. But we're going to play first off the Hardrick clip where he's at a loss for words from last night.
Really doesn't feel real. Been in this league a while. Seen some guys I look up to chase this thing. Doesn't feel like I'm holding, but just happy, man. Didn't do it along as one person award, but it was a lot of people did it. And let's go get this one Sunday.
Dave, take me through the emotion, kind of what you felt as the broadcaster seeing him, what he went through last night.
And that was it, right? The culmination of all the work that he put in the season last year and off season to get to the point where he was named the most outstanding offensive lineman in the Canadian Football League last night. You could see it was emotional. He brought his kids up on stage with him to receive the award, which I thought was pretty cool. So good on Jamarcus Hardrick, again, such a great leader and so well deserving of the award.
Luke,
yeah, I talked to Marcus after, and it was funny how locked in he is, man. As soon as I talked to him, I said, "Hey, congratulations!" You know what he said to me? First thing he said, "Let's go finish the job."
Oh, there's a band starting. Trying to figure out what song that is in the background as we go. But Luke, honestly, did you think that he was going to make it back and be where he was with what he went through last year? Be honest.
No, I think that it's actually kudos to his ability to handle the things outside of the white lines. When you get to Yoshi's age, obviously your body doesn't react to things, or it does react to things a lot differently. He's had to work a lot harder, to rehab and that injury he suffered is a devastating injury, by the way, right? A lot of guys at his point in his career probably wouldn't have made it back to his level of play. And for him to not just make it back, but also come and be the most outstanding offensive lineman in the league, it's just a phenomenal feat. Yeah. And I'll just say, you got to remember what guys in this league or even from this organization have won it. You're looking at Gene Mikowski. You're looking at Drew Green, guys I played with. Those two, there was nobody better in the league than those two when they were at their height of their game. And so for him to get back and get past not just the height of his game, but the height of the league, it's phenomenal. Okay,
Little Willie is really bleeding in. Great song by Sweet back in 1973. So you guys take a break. Dave, go find a Rider jersey or a tank top for our next hit, and then we're going to catch up with you guys next hour.
You bet, because Little Willie won't go home. Little Willie.
Dave and Luke. Luke, go have another beer. Dave, Thomas, and Luc Mullinder are standing by at RiderVille. Inside, there they are. The fellas, Luke's doing what a guy should be doing at RiderVille. Atta baby, right there. No, Dave, it's okay. You just take care of him. Please take care of him.
What do you mean? Come on, man. This is not my first rodeo, brother. This is not my first
No,
rodeo.
it might be your last.
You forget, man. I hosted the Grey Cup. We hosted RiderVille. I emceed RiderVille in the Grey Cup in 2013, 14, and 15. 2013 being one of the best. But I'm excited about this weekend. So don't worry, man. It's not my first rodeo.
Hey, Luke, I was on MTV Spring Break in Lake Havasu, and I was 19 too, but I wouldn't be doing it at this age. I tell you that much right now. We've all done things when we were younger, but now it's like you just do it.
Hey, you ever seen? Hey, Barney, you ever seen the movie Troy?
No.
You seen that movie?
No.
Oh, well, one of the kids is like, hey, man, that guy's the biggest guy I've ever seen in my life. And you know what Achilles looks at? I'm going to do that to you, too. He looks at him, he goes, that's why nobody will remember your name.
What?
You got to be able to do it at any age, brother.
No.
So now that you're at the festival, quick questions. I had a buddy checking. We were talking about Grey Cup moments. Saturday night, 2013, so the night before the game, DD coming out on stage. Something I'll never forget. Unbelievable.
Man.
You know, talking about the festival, obviously there's lots of great memories or not so remembered memories of those nights. But as someone who's hosted, like you said, do you have a lot of fond memories of the festival?
Well, that Darian Durant thing, it was funny how that came together. I texted him. I was like, look, I'm hosting RiderVille. While I got this platform, I want you to see the love these guys got for you, man, because it was towards the end of the week, and so I called, and he's like, man, let's make it happen. And I don't think he knew what I meant. So I called his buddy Jeff Armstead. Shout out, Team Dime. So Jeff Armstead and we arranged it. I talked with the security and everything. So we arranged it so that Jeff would be able to, like, where RiderVille was happening in the Soccerplex, we, like, the VIP and all that stuff was, like, right at the back, right? And it was roped off. So Jeff was able to just drive up to the door. We opened the door and we took Durant out of the car. And then the guys from F Troop, shout out to F Troop, they, like, watched the car while it was parked outside the building.
Oh, geez.
So doubles could come in and we were like, hey, man, look, we're gonna introduce you. But I mean, you remember, you talk about it, right? Like, remember, we acted like we didn't know what was happening. We acted like there was, like, a technical difficulty and stuff. And, man, when we were like, oh, well, I guess, because Dave, so what happened, Dave, was we were like, oh, man, we got this great special guest for you. We took this interview. Here it is. And the guys were they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? We don't have any film. And we were like, oh, well, I guess we got to do this in person. And when we brought doubles out, when we introduced doubles, the building erupted.
Yeah.
It erupted.
Exploded.
And it was awesome. It exploded, brother. You're right, man. And it was funny because I was out, the people that I had seen, it was like 9:30. The people I had seen that evening, they were like, anybody who said, oh, yeah, we're about to head over there, I'm like, no, you don't want to do that. And they were like, well, what do you mean? I was like, you probably want to stay here till about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And they're like, no, we got to. I'm like, all right, go if you want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to, yeah.
Fair warning.
That was probably one of the more memorable moments, man. But it was because it was one of those moments where doubles got to see how much people loved him, man, and the team. You know what I mean? And it meant a lot. And me and Lance wanted him to see that because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but, like, when doubles was on the road, like, he was locked in, right? He was watching film in the hotel room. He wasn't out and about like we were. You know what I mean? So because he was starting quarterback, he was the face of the franchise. So for him to be able to see that and how much people love him, that was awesome. And then basically as soon as he came off stage, guys, we, like, whisked him away. Jeff's little compact BMW was waiting outside the door. He jumped in and they were out of there.
That's fantastic. I didn't know the backstory. That's fantastic.
What is RiderVille? Paint the picture for us, or turn the camera around. I don't know if someone's watching the stream. What are we, just in a big box, like a big convention center? What is it? Hockey rink?
Well, no, it's a big convention center,
massive,
so all of the team parties are here. This is a big room. One side, you've got all kinds of merchandise and stuff. There's a cornhole area where I saw you were schooling some folks.
Yeah, I just had to dominate the competition over there quickly before I came back over here.
Yeah, chill zone over there. You got a stage there just over the way where they're of course, doing a little Shania Twain right now. So yeah, it's a great atmosphere.
Think one of the Queensberry one of the Queensberry room boys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Lit up in green with RiderVille all over it, and people are starting to trickle in. Right? This place is going to be bumping around 7 o'clock.
What do we got? A carpet? We got a little dance floor? What do we got there?
There's a dance floor up there.
There's a dance floor up there. There's a place to take. If you want a picture with Dave Thomas, you better get down to RiderVille right now because there's a picture area as well.
Luc Mullinder is the one, but yeah.
There we go. Let's get Luc. You got to get a picture when he lets his hair down tonight. That's what I want to see. And then can you go request some Stevie Nicks from this lady that's singing?
Dave's version of letting his hair down is going to be taking off this suit coat.
He's got 2 top buttons there. That's he can undo one of them. You still won't be showing any chest hair.
What are we? Eve, I guess, of the last day. What goes on tomorrow for the players, Luc?
Oh man, it's about to get. You know what? So I was saying to Dave yesterday. Last night was the CFL Player Awards. That's the night probably, guys, we're going to get out and about and check out what's going on around the Grey Cup festivities. You had day 3 practice today. The Riders, I believe, are in the afternoon practice, right? Yeah. So they're not even done. It's only 4:15. They're not even done practice yet. So the guys will go and get some dinner, and it's all about locking in now. You got to do. These are the times where you've really got to fight to get into your routine however you can. One of the hardest things to do coming up, and I wish I would have told a few guys this now that I think about it, but you got to make your dinner reservations because, again, athletes are a creature of habit. Tomorrow, guys are used to going out, getting a steak, getting whatever, or ordering their you don't want to. I remember in Edmonton, it started off so bad because everybody was in town and the restaurants were packed, and we were creatures of habit, and we wanted to stay in our routine. So 5:30, we were looking for a place to go. It just so happened Jason Claremont had reserved a table that was massive, but even then we ended up being at dinner for 4 hours. The restaurant took so long and stuff, and it just got us all discombobulated. So right now, these guys got to fight to get back into their day 3 to 4 routine, right? Because you got to lock in, and there's just certain things that you want to be checking off in the back of your mind when it comes to performing at a high level. Barney, every time I talk about knowing your numbers, if you're a 7, you got to figure out a way to get to 7. If you're a 4 out of 10 and you play your best football at being a 4, you have to figure out how to mellow out and get to a 4. Getting to your number and being okay and feeling like you're ready to go, it's about your routine. So guys got to fight these next 2 days, Barney.
What if you're a 6'7"? Yes! I got it in.
Good night, everybody.
Somebody said, get in a 6'7" today. There it is. Okay, we got Paul LaPolice coming up in a bit. I don't know if you guys have seen him yet. It sounds like an awesome party. I don't know. Are we going to maybe see you guys in hour 3, or are you guys? I'm dead serious here, and it doesn't matter to me. Are you guys pedal down now?
No, we're good. Just let us know
if you want. Yeah,
you tell us what you want to know.
Dude, yeah, I got at least 3 more.
Get that 4 hours. Let's get that Shania Twain lady on for hour 3 and find out what else she does for tunes. All right, boys.
If you're in town though, Dan Clark's hosting RiderVille, and he's up at 5 o'clock. So,
but if you don't have a ticket, you're schluck trofu, as my Guido would say.
If you don't have a ticket, tell him you know Dave Thomas. You're fine.
No.
There it is.
Good.
All right. Sounds good. We'll talk to you guys in a bit. Dave and Luc live in Winnipeg at RiderVille. Let's go out. Western Pizza Guest Hotline back to RiderVille. And the guys, see what's playing in the background.
No fun at all.
Oh, you just got us in between songs.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah, they're taking.
Sorry, we're talking with the people.
Yeah, actually, I was talking with the Rider Pep Band. They just did a version out in the hallway there. Yeah, so it was awesome.
Of what song?
I'm Still Standing.
The same song they always do.
I'm Still Standing. No, it's a new one.
Oh, they don't have a
I'm
new
Still
song. Standing.
There's
no way they have a new song. That'd be the first new song in 30 years.
No, it was good.
Okay, Luke, I owe you $50 because we had that bet on over under 5:45 when Dave would take his suit jacket off. So I apparently lost that bet. And then Darren and I have one. We figure that you're on number 5. Over under.
Actually, hold on. Oh, no, I'm over 5.
Right on that, baby. Love it. All right, let's keep the gambling theme going, boys. It's Sprinkle of the Day for Sports Select, and we're going to bring you guys in this because I know Sports Select, great sponsor here. You can generate a QR code online now with a single bet. Take it to your local Lotto Spot retailer, scan it, and there you got your ticket. All right, we're looking at the Grey Cup. Here we go. Now, I love the fact, as you guys both know, when it comes to Sports Select and you play the pro line, if you think it's going to be a 3-point game, you take Tommy Ty. 370. There it pays. When you guys look at this board here, you got the point spread, minus 3.5 Riders, and then the over-under at 48.5. Dave, first to you. Where do you go?
Honestly, I'm thinking it's going to be a defensive battle on Sunday, but I could see it going over. And then the 3.5, I think, is bang on, but I'd actually take the Riders to cover that.
Okay, Mr. Mullinder. Mr. Mullinder.
I'm taking under the 48. I'm taking under the 48.5, and I'm taking the Riders by a field goal, so Montreal plus 3.5.
Okay, should I contact you tomorrow morning when you're thinking more clear?
Oh, man, I'm thinking clear now. Shoot.
DA, what do you like?
Hey, boys.
I'm the same as Luke. I think it's going to be under 48. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and within that 3 points, 2 points kind of a deal.
See, I'm leaning heavy to the over, so maybe I'm the space cadet here. I don't know.
I was trying to tell everybody last week that the BC Lions were going to make it close, and everybody thought I was crazy then too. You know, these are two really good defenses, especially Montreal. I'm telling you guys, Montreal's defense is built to stop the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They're able to get pressure through the middle, get Trevor Harris off his spot. They're not built from the edges. So when you have an edge rush, when you only have edge rushers, you're just able to step up into the pocket and keep the same launch point. I think that, especially with Noel Thorpe, I think this game is going to be really close. I think that it's going to be one of those things where momentum means everything. So you can't commit a turnover, especially early. And again, I think it's going to be a low score. I mean, I'm really pumped about this game. I have a feeling this game is going to reveal. You know how we always talk about the best parts of the Canadian Football League? I think this is one of those games where we end up celebrating Saskatchewan, but we also say, man, that is what makes the CFL so great.
So you're calling the Rouge. Perfect.
Yeah.
No, I'm not calling it stupid Rouge.
Hey, keep it Canadian. We're going to give it up. Dave, people are sending, I've got a couple text messages here. We got some erroneous information on injuries, and the Riders haven't released anything today that I've seen. Can you update anything on the injury front, the game status?
So basically what I can tell you is it was a closed practice today, so we do have to await the official word as to who was and who wasn't. I did talk with Keyshawn Johnson earlier this week. He did run around on day number 1. He didn't participate as he was held out as kind of a precaution, right, just to make sure and see where he was at on day 2. And then today was going to be the test for where he was at. Joe Robustelli, he had to go through concussion protocol. That's why he missed day number 1. He was back on the field full form yesterday, and I would anticipate the same. Shane Ray has not put pads on, has not put on a jersey for, 5 weeks now, and I would doubt that he'll be anywhere near being able to play with his neck injury.
So in that regard, obviously dinged up at the receiver spot, and we're getting some guys back, which is great. I thought it was an interesting roster move last week when we chose to go with Alfred over Bain Jr. as the kick returner, given that Bain could have filled in that spot when Robustelli went down. Is there that, and I understand Alfred's spot on the team and his, how good he is, but for me, I'm going, we don't need to win on special teams, but if we get an injury with one of these guys who's tweaked, I would think we'd want more American receivers on the roster.
Just quick on my part for that. Now, and I'll go to you, Luke, because you're the expert, but when it comes to Mario Alford, he's got about a 4-yard advantage when it comes to the punt return average that he's got over top of Sean Bain Jr., and then of the kickoff return, that's where he's much more special. His average is, I believe, about 9.8 yards or so better than what Sean Bain Jr. was with the couple of games that he filled in. Mario can take a receiver spot, but I think you're so happy with the Canadians you have that there is no drop-off there by starting or putting in a Canadian, whether it's Del Duncan Busby or perhaps this week even a Joe who got a lot of reps back on day 2.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that without Keyshawn Johnson, your offense is still going to run through number 45, right? So that's going to set everything up. When Robustelli went down, again, it's not like we just turned on becoming a field-stretching team. The reason why we've seen big plays in the past for the Saskatchewan Roughriders offense, when you've really gone downfield, it's because of the fact that guys had their eyes in the backfield on 45, right? It gives our receivers a head start. So, again, I'm not sure. And, again, some injuries, guys, especially for the wide receivers, some of those injuries, man, you come back and you just don't have the same type of burst, right? Every receiver, especially in this league, has an advantage, right? And some of those guys, especially the smaller guys, they got to rely on their ability to cut. They got to rely on their top end speed. They got to rely on their football IQ. And I'm glad that Mario Alford's been starting. Here's the reason why. Ball security is everything in big games. And I want ball security above anything. I could care less if Sean Bain gets 7 more yards per punt return than Mario Alford. I know that Mario Alford's going to secure the football. And the other piece is, especially when we look at this game where points are going to be at a premium, I would take Mario Alford and a missed field goal over 7 returners in this league. 7 of them. So I think that with Mario Alford, it's consistency, and it's the understanding that you know what you're going to get, right? I don't think it's fair to put Sean Bain in that situation, to be honest, if we don't have to.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're strictly looking at it from a return standpoint, it's a no-brainer. It's just interesting in the roster movement, right? When you've got receivers dinged up and you've got this decision to make, like, holy cow, we could put another receiver on the roster just in case you have multiple injuries there. But, it's not easy to be in Mace's shoes.
If there's another receiver that comes on the roster, I want it to be Mitch Picton before anybody.
Yeah.
Nice. So, obviously we have Moni playing in the background. I'm glad there's not a lot of people there filling in the dead space while we're on the radio here. But, you said Robustelli is out of concussion protocol. Does that mean he's good to go? Is that sort of where we're leaning here? Like, I know a lot of Rider fans, me included, are really itching to know when that depth chart comes out, who's going to be on there. What are you guys leaning towards on the receiver end?
Okay, so when the depth chart comes out, and again, the injury report just came out, and I'm kind of scrolling down to make sure and see what we have, and I'll give you the live update as I get it right here in front of me. But Joe is fully practiced, and he can bring in an element when it comes to the blocking and running game, which could be very, very important when you're considering what the Riders want to do.
Yeah.
So you're definitely bringing in Sam Emelis. You know you're going to have Kean Schaefer-Baker. You know you're going to have Dante Myers. You know you're likely going to go ahead with Joe Robustelli. And then Joe and Del Duncan Busby.
Is he out of concussion protocol?
Yeah, he's done. He cleared that, so that's good news.
Well, if he cleared concussion protocol, you go with Robustelli, and then you just back it up with your Canadian wide receiver corps.
And Keyshawn Johnson has just been officially ruled out.
Okay.
So, I would have been shocked if Keyshawn played.
Yeah. So that's probably that's what I would guess that you're looking at right now.
Yeah, no, and that's great news, I think, for Rider fans. I think, to your point, we have a strong stable of guys there. It just always gets worrisome when you got multiple guys coming into the playoffs on that injured reserve list.
Yeah. I would question, though, too, and again, it's good that Joe Robustelli's out there, but I don't look at him as a game breaker. in terms of speed. I think, again, I have tons of respect for this Montreal Alouettes secondary. I think every one of those guys has a tremendous ability to make plays on the ball, but more importantly, they can cover in man, and they're quick, man. They are a quick group. And I think that when you look at our receiving core, I don't think that it's going to be about the 50-50 balls this game. If it becomes that, that's great. But again, you got to understand this secondary for the Montreal Alouettes, they're a bunch of gamers.
Joe Robustelli has also been ruled out.
Yeah.
It's just been confirmed he did not practice either.
So Robustelli out, so Emilis out.
No, Emilis in.
Emilis in.
Yeah.
Joe in. It's Johnson that's out.
Yeah. And Robustelli,
All right.
yeah.
There we go. We're up to date.
Is that
okay,
clear
boys.
as mud or what?
No, it is. It is. Okay, good job,
Breaking
Moni.
news.
Oh, Moni's got to be followed by another classic hit coming up. You guys go have fun. Appreciate it. Take it all in, and we'll catch up next week.
Moni. Hey, nice guy. Get paid, go shopping. And you bet we will.
Go Riders, man. Let's go.
Go.